You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Bax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle. Hey everybody, Jim Chester here. I have a self-sponsored edition today with Alex Smith. He's back in Davenport, Iowa, which is the fountainhead at Palmer College of Chiropractic, and I'm coming in from the Mile High City. Today, this episode is being brought to you by Chiro Hustle Digital Ad Agency. If you guys want to up your game and get more exposure and have more people find you in your chiropractic office, reach out to me. I am your go-to for digital ads in this chiropractic space. So, Alex, what's going on today, man?
Nothing much, just chilling before class. Here ready to talk some chiropractic philosophy, things going on, and I'm ready to kick it.
So you grew up in a chiropractic household, right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you are the man you are today.
So I guess it all starts when my mom and dad met each other at Palmer. They met on a rugby trip down to play Life University back when the chiropractic games were still pretty big. And then 1995, I was born. My dad delivered me in the hospital. And right as soon as I was delivered, set me down on the table, checked that list, and that's when I had my first adjustment. And then from then on, just grew up in the office, watching people's lives get changed, watching my mom and dad just grind and help people constantly day in and day out. My father's a huge on chiropractic philosophy, and he's kind of embedded that in me. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And now you're a second generation chiropractor. I mean, you're not yet in the program, but you're pre-chiro, doing the undergrad stuff at Palmer. What's that program like for you, man?
So right now, I've done schooling at Arkansas State University. I've done schooling at Scott Community College, and I'm in the undergrad program now at Palmer. And it's nice to get the sciences and the business aspect taught to you, but with a chiropractic head point. So it's nice to have everything being evolved around chiropractic. It's a great opportunity if anybody's looking for undergrad to come at Palmer and kind of finish up your prereqs.
Yeah, so that's one of the talking points I wanted to touch on with you today. And I have a massive following, and the chiropractic world is definitely on my hip and behind me and in front of me. So I'm like surrounded by this motion of chiropractic knowledge, this motion of relationship within chiropractic world. And before I ask you the next question, I just want to say thank you to Carol and Dale Smith for supporting me in my journey to become the man I am today and to build that solid relationship and being there for me every step of the way as well. So thank you to the Smiths. And so let's just jump right into this one though. Has Palmer lost its way as an educational institution for chiropractic education?
That's tough. It depends on what side of chiropractic philosophy you stand on. If you are on the side of wanting to be accepted by the medical community and taking sacrifices for it, I mean, there's definitely sacrifices Palmer has made towards their philosophy, but I know there are definitely still teachers here that keep the BJ Palmer philosophy strong. I haven't quite exactly got to experience those philosophy classes yet, but I can see there's a difference in students around that don't hold that same philosophy. Maybe they didn't come from a strong chiropractic philosophy doc that got influenced or whatever it may be, but I probably would say that there's a difference between when my mom and dad were in school and now.
Yeah, and I think the shift has to go towards if we want to keep the structure and the strength of the profession, then we have to build the youth up with the right tools.
Correct.
I know that I've never been through one chiropractic class in my entire life, so I can't talk on behalf of either a doc or a DC to be like yourself. Mm-hmm. But what does it mean for you to become a second generation chiropractor?
So for me, it's huge. I I feel like there's a bar that's been set by my mom and dad, and that bar is not low at all. It's pretty high. Uh, and so I feel like there's almost this expectation of what kind of Cairo I'm going to be and to live up to that standard. Um, but at the same time, it means a lot to continue the legacy that my parents have built up. So that's regardless of where that bar is set, I'm ready to meet it, and I want to push it even further. And it's so to be a second gen Cairo means the world to me.
Well, I think you're one of the first interviews I've ever done with both parents being DCs. Let's just share a little bit about what how your parents met, if you will,
Sure.
and just a little bit of that love story and how they've built this empire with you, and now you're going to become a DC as well.
Yeah, so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they were on a bus down to Life University to play. Palmer was playing Life in a rugby game at the Cairo Championships or the Cairo Cup, and the story goes, Dad's walking by, Mom's walking by on the bus. They bump into each other, and they haven't ever left each other since. And so I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but that my dad tells it a little different. And so, yeah, they met, had Steven, I think, when my mom was in like eighth or ninth try, and then I was born 2 years later. And so they started out with one single practice in Memphis, split and had their own offices, came back together, and then my mom had her office out in Oakland, Tennessee, and now they're back together and they're growing their business exponentially now.
And that's really cool. I know that you probably have a different like insight on the chiropractic lifestyle than most people would. What is any advice that you might give to, other students that are rising up with you right now?
Trust in the philosophy, for sure, 100%. There you've got the science, you've got the art, and the philosophy, and I think the philosophy is what binds the science and the art together. Because if you don't have that, chiropractic loses a lot of its focus on being a progressive healthcare profession. I mean, you've seen studies like I believe it came out of Yale, where chiropractic was able to drop the opioid epidemic and getting people off opioids and helping people with back pain with just natural care. Our bodies don't need a bunch of outside chemicals to cause it to be a fully functioning, healthy body. The nervous system is what controls it, above, down, inside, and out. It's all there. We just need it to run as optimally as possible, and chiropractic's there for it. Believe in it.
Yeah, and your message is so pure, brother. It's great to hear you build the confidence to share that strong message. It doesn't come easy.
No, no, not at all. I could tell you countless stories of growing up and just having kids in elementary school tell me how weird I am and how wrong my parents are and just all that stuff. Yeah, it does not come easy for sure.
And I know that you've been a part of the rugby family for many years as well,
Mhm.
because your pops played at Palmer, and he's very involved with funding and helping get the new students there and
Yeah,
recruitment and stuff like that. What has it been like for you to see your dad's involvement with Palmer College of Chiropractic and the rugby team?
that is probably the second most influential piece of my father, besides him just being a chiropractor and being a hardworking chiropractor and him being very philosophically strong. His give back and his love that he has for Palmer rugby is second to none. Uh, he's instilled to me as a Palmer alum who was on the rugby team that if you don't give back, then you're just another grain of sand that's out there on the beach. You've got to make yourself involved, because if you don't, that team's not going to grow. That legacy will die. And he's a little speechless almost.
Well, as we were talking pre-interview, I was saying to you, it's about like training. And if you don't train well, 10% of the actual game is the playing. The
Yeah.
90% is the actual training. And it's the same way when we earn. It's
Mhm.
we can earn as much as we want to, but if we don't give back, then we don't have much of a foundation for what we actually have earned.
Sure.
It goes in and it goes out. And like I said to you before the interview, like I take what I earn in and I push it back into the profession. I do it for self-development, but I also do it for the development of other people. And I think that I learned so much from your dad about how he would, keep on supporting and do recruiting and get young student athletes to go to Palmer. And I know that there's a lot of scholarship funding coming in now for the rugby team, and that wouldn't be possible without his stepping up with leadership, but also building the brotherhood within within that Palmer College rugby squad. So I can't say enough. And Dale, thank you for jumping on with us right now. I know he's proud of you, Alex. He's a stand up man, and we'll just go ahead and throw his comment up there right now. He's got a beautiful picture there with your mom. But let's talk a little bit more about you. You as the individual. I know you got a young family. Let's talk about like the challenges with having a young family and jumping in to become a doctor.
For sure. So I have a wife, Alexis, my daughter, Ainsley. She's 5 and she's in kindergarten and she is past a handful. And then my son's 3 and he is just under her as being as big of a handful. Uh, Thankfully, I have a loving wife who supports me fully in what I'm doing. And she's with me there every step of the way. But I think to kind of tell the story more, I have to jump back before I came to school. Uh, I lost a job 2 weeks before my son was born, and like that broke my heart. It was that's where I thought I was going to make my career out of, and it wasn't in chiropractic at the time. Um, and just so that was back in June. August of that year is 2016. After my son was born, I played in the Elva Sevens with Palmer, and like I fell back in love with the the essence in which I grew up, which was chiropractic. And I knew from then on I had to make a change in where I was. So then I started working a job at FedEx in a warehouse, and I texted my wife while I was working there. I said, "Hey, babe, this is not where I want to be. Either I'm going to be a police officer or I'm going to be a chiropractor. I need you to think long and hard about this. Uh, what's your decision?" And it was like less than 5 minutes, and she said chiropractor, hands down. And so it took us a little bit to get there, but now that we're here, she backs me fully, and I couldn't ask for anything more. My kids are amazing. My daughter actually just told me the other day, she was like, "When I grow up, I want to be a chiropractor," and that's awesome to hear because they both get seen every week here in clinic, and they love it. They love it. They're so excited when they walk in. They're like, "I want to get adjusted." And they fight over who goes first, and they love the whole experience, and their health is a testament to it as well.
Well, having the chiropractic lifestyle at a young age like you, how soon did you say you were adjusted at like two seconds or something?
Probably I guess 2 minutes. It's somewhere around there.
But understanding like the benefits of having a chiropractic lifestyle at such a young age and growing up in an office, let's just tell a couple stories about what it was like to grow up in the office with your folks.
Yeah, so I learned how to file X-rays away. I learned how to write those down back when you had to develop the X-rays. My dad taught me then, very young. I was developing X-rays for him. I got countless stories. We had a receptionist that was there for 15 years, and she was telling me how she watched me grow up, and she was like, I remember back when I used to bend you over my lap and give you whoopings. But the more testament to it is the fact that I used to get what my parents called wellness days off of school because I never had sick days. And so all my friends growing up, they were out for sick days. Flu season came around, they all had the flu or they had the cold or whatever it may be. And like I never missed a day of school because I wasn't sick. And so they're just like, don't go to school today. You're having a wellness day. I was like, right on.
Well, that's really cool, because the chiropractic lifestyle isn't about sickness or pain. It's about keeping people healthy.
For
And I
sure.
think that so many times when we discuss what chiropractic is, the communities that we live in and that we serve in, so many people, they don't know actually what chiropractic is. They're very confused. They think that you guys are for auto accidents or
Mhm.
for headaches or for low back pain. And I know that the chiropractic profession is very effective with those type of care plans. But
Absolutely.
there's so many times where people come in and they're having some type of reproductive system issue and they don't have the ability to have kids. And then either the husband or the wife start getting adjusted, and the next thing you know, they've realized that there's a bun in the oven.
Yeah.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Bax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Yeah, I mean that goes along with the nervous system. It's what controls our body. It's what keeps us functioning. And if you have a dysfunctioning nervous system, you have a dysfunctioning body, and that's going to have side effects. Whether that be low back pain, whether that be you know diabetes in terms of your body's not able to regulate sugar like it should be. My parents have seen many patients basically get rid of their fertility issues because of chiropractic care. I mean, it all comes back to the nervous system, and that's what we deal with as chiropractors. It's not the back pain, it's not the whiplash that we are focusing on. It's mainly that nervous system that happens to be in the spinal cord. That happens to be in the spinal column. That happens to be in the back, and that's what keeps us moving and going.
So we're going to talk a little bit more. I heard you mention on to early on about why your father is so strong with his philosophy,
Mhm.
and let's talk a little bit about your philosophy and maybe some of your mentors.
So my philosophy is really centered around that above, down, inside out, and then the three of the science, art, and philosophy, and how PJ has it set up. My when I can think about mentors, it's really my father. I look up to the Schofields, the whole family. They're awesome. For sure, looking up to Matt Walker and how he's hustling and doing, and he's always doing, opening up a new business or whatever it may be. I mean, it's basically whoever my dad associates himself with. That's who my mentors are for sure.
So let's do something really cool. Let's say you get a chance to take a walk a block with Fred Schofield, and what is something that you would say to Freddie and to just open up a little bit and share like your feelings for Fred.
Oh, that's I mean, honestly, he's opened himself up to me around Christmas time. Let me stay in his house and just was the most hospitable man that I've ever met. Uh, to tell him basically my feelings for him, it would be, you mean more to me than almost words can put in. He's influenced my dad, which has influenced me. He's influenced me directly. Uh, I mean, it's nice to see him continue to prosper as he grows on, and the fire that he has for chiropractic is something that I wish, or I hope, to be able to portray to people.
Now let's do the same thing for your pops. Say you get a chance to walk around the block with your dad. What would you say to him?
It's I don't think I could ask for a better dad. Uh, I was lucky to be born into a chiropractic family. I was lucky to be able to have such a loving father who sacrificed a lot for his kids and for his wife. Uh, he made sure that whatever it was that we needed was there. Um, and I can't be more thankful for him. I know at times we've had our disagreements and we've had hardships, but no matter what, nothing changes from the fact that he is truly the biggest role model that's been in my life.
That's amazing, dude. And I have to lead up now to your mother. I know she's been the rock for the family. Um, you get a chance to walk around the block with your mom now. What would you say to her?
She's if we're using analogies, my dad would be that the spinal cord, but my mom's the spine. She's what honestly she protects us a lot. She's what holds us together. She is everything that you could ever ask for in a mom. She's loving, caring. She's funny. Some people might argue she's funny. I mean, she's a great woman, and the the amount of work that she does is definitely known around the community and around the patients that they take care of. And I know my dad would not be who he is today if he didn't have her.
So I'm going to go one step back now. You have a brother that's going to join the program here soon.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's throw a shout out to your brother and send some nice message to him.
yeah. Stephen Smith. I'm excited for him to get here. The timing works out perfectly. He's joining. He starts first try in the spring, so he'll be a try behind me. But I wanted him to come here so we could go through this together. Only being a try off, it works out great. I'm excited for him, and he's a wonderful dude. He's the epitome of being just a carefree, loving guy who doesn't care about any little nicks or knacks. He wants you to be you, and that's how he lives his life, and it's awesome.
Well, that's really cool, man. I appreciate you sharing some nice messages about people that mean something to you. I don't always get to do that because I don't always know the depth of the relationships with people. But
Sure.
I will say this to the audience out there. If it wasn't for Matt Walker, I wouldn't be in chiropractic. If it wasn't for Fred Schofield, I wouldn't be the warrior that I am today. And if it wasn't for Palmer Rugby, I would have zero understanding of what chiropractic means to the world at large. So I have to pay a huge tribute to both Matt Walker, Fred Schofield, your father, and the whole Palmer Rugby alumni team. You guys have done so much to build me up into the warrior that I am today. And I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for being there with me. Paxton Schofield, Susan Schofield, FJ Schofield, the whole Schofield family has embraced me and supported me. And they actually sponsor Chiro Hustle podcast. So thank you for that as well. And as I've gotten more involved with the chiropractic world, I realize that the fountainhead is something that we have to protect. And there is such thing as a sacred trust within chiropractic. And there's even chiropractors that might not know that they need to step forward and protect the sacred trust. Why will you protect the sacred trust?
Because I mean, this is where it started. I mean, if you lose your foundation, then what do you become? Everything else crumbles underneath it. And so Palmer and the Fountainhead here in Davenport is where everything started. This is the foundation of chiropractic. And regardless of what may happen on the board of trustees or the academia or whatever, this place in and of itself is so important to chiropractic. If we lose it and we don't have it anymore, what do we become? And that's the main reason that I chose to come to Palmer Davenport. That's the main reason why I will get back, and that's the main reason why they deserve our support.
So what you're saying is you moved there for the weather.
Absolutely not. No, I did not. I did not move here for it to snow from November to April. I miss the South. We barely get sweet tea up here.
But you're learning a lot about yourself. You're becoming a doctor. I know there's other people on this live throughout the journey with us
Mhm.
that are not chiropractors that are following what I do. What's your advice to them if they're thinking about joining chiropractic as a profession?
I mean, you can't pick a profession that puts the patient as their absolute uh, losing my words. They put the patient first, and because if you're not putting your patient first, then you're not having a successful practice, in my opinion. Um, the chiropractic philosophy is that of the body heals itself. You just have to make sure that the body's in a line to be able to heal itself, and that the nervous system is functioning like it needs to be. It's amazing to see the connections that the doctors and patients make, because it's not just hi, how are you doing? Okay, this is this. Here's your prescription. Like that. That's not how a doctor visit goes in a chiropractic office. And if you want deep relationships, if you want to see people's lives change, not just see them for 2 seconds, the chiropractic way is the way to go.
And that's really what it's all about, guys. And I felt really honored to be able to interview DC to be Alex Smith today, just because I knew the fact that I could get some stories out of him that I didn't have access to with anyone else. And to know that you're so early on in your chiropractic legacy with your own degree, I think that we'll have more opportunities to share with each other more as you develop into the man that you're becoming. And towards the end of my interviews, I always ask people, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
I mean, the main thing I want to put forward as a DCP and as somebody who's going to be in this profession for my fellow chiropractors and for people who are also in school, just don't lose the love that you have for the profession and for the people you are serving. I think it's so important as doctors and as healthcare professionals that we have to remember we are servants to the people who are in our office. They come first. And if you lose sight of that, then you lose sight of who you are and what you've become.
Well, at this juncture, I appreciate you sharing so candidly what you did with our audience today. I know you're going to touch some lives as you develop and as you rise yourself up as the king that you are. And I know that you're going to be able to be a great chiropractor and a good father for your little ones and a good husband for your wife. And that just touches my heart to get to know you better. If you guys found value in this Facebook Live today with Alex Smith, hashtag value in the comments down there. If you watch this on replay and you got to this point of the interview and you watched the whole thing, hashtag replay in the comments down there. And if you just give us one thing that would help us spread this message about chiropractic and about what Alex shared with us today, hit that share button for us and send us some hearts. If you guys have any personal questions that you want to send off to either Alex or myself, send those through via Facebook Messenger, and we'll be sure to reply to all of you. Any of you that commented down here in the chat feed, we'll definitely respond back to each and every single one of you. And I'm going to go ahead and close out. Is that okay, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, and continue to hustle, baby.
Yeah, man. We love and appreciate every single one of you that joined us on this Facebook Live today and support Chiro Hustle as a brand and as the megaphone for the chiropractic profession. What we do is we keep free speech alive and well in the chiropractic profession, supporting subluxation-based chiropractors and supporting the innate intelligence movement that D.D. Palmer started back in 1895. And I just love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Right on, baby.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.